Michelle are podcast's most interesting and loving couple. Join them every week as this radio personality and this author come together to let you into their lives.
Weirdest TLC shows, except each time it gets weirder. My teen is pregnant and so am I is exactly what it sounds like, following the lives of a mother who is pregnant at the same time as her teenage daughter. Alaskan Woman Looking for Love follows the lives of 6 women who are tired of the dating pool in Kodiak, Alaska, and go out to Miami looking for love. Best Funeral Ever follows the life of Golden Gate Funeral Home, who is known for throwing huge, over-the-top funeral parties, like for Olympic gold medal winner Ronnie Ray Smith, where casket ran a 100-yard dash and was given a gold medal at the end. Dancing Queens is described as following young ballroom dancers as they compete at events across the country, but I'm pretty sure that I'm on some kind of list just for Googling that. Living for the Apocalypse followed the lives of people who believed that the end of the world was coming in 2012, and it just followed the stereotypical people who built shelters, stocked up on food, and prepped for the end of the world. Virgin Diaries followed the lives of adult virgins who, as you can expect, look like a stereotypical virgin. But this was filmed at a different time, and according to studies today, young people are having less and less sex, so your typical version now would just look like this.
Okay.
We need to go back and break these shows down one by one, because this thing is out of control.
That was a lot. It was the casket yard dash.
I got stuck on the first story.
I know. It was for me. It was I'm pregnant, and so is my daughter.
No. That was bad. That was the first one, but for me, it was the casket dash. The
casket dash is wild, yo.
Casket dash. That was. Talk about a commemoration. Oh, glory.
Right. All right. Let me go ahead and play this, and we'll break them down one by one.
Are some of the weirdest TLC shows, except each time it gets weirder. My teen is pregnant and so am I is exactly what it sounds like, following the lives of a mother who is pregnant at the same time as her teenage daughter. Alaskan Woman Looking for Love
Oh my God. And so am I is the part that I'm messed up by, because I feel like I've seen the title of my my teenage. By the way, how did they not get sued for ripping off MTV? 16 and Pregnant.
Because it's a different
because
show,
is different,
and it's a different concept.
Yeah,
it's the same concept almost.
Almost, except
almost, but not quite.
Me have a baby.
Just missing the pregnant.
What do you do? Like, do you share a birthing suite?
Whoa!
Like you're on one side, your daughter on the other.
You got, first of all,
are 4 people allowed in the room?
Do the kids have the same father?
Help!
Let me tell you something. The type of stomping that I would. Your kids got to know you at least a little bit crazy, right? Hopefully, by that point, your kids know that you will absolutely kill them.
Yeah.
It's circumstantial, right? But yikes. Ooh,
Alaskan Woman Looking for Love follows the lives of 6 women who are tired of the dating pool in Kodiak, Alaska, and go out to Miami looking for love.
You're in Alaska!
It could not be any different. There's no one in Alaska. Who's there?
What you got?
6 of you, and then maybe like 4 more guys, and that's it. That's the sum total. Who is in Alaska?
You, whatever dudes you already dated, and the polar bears. Like,
exactly. Everybody gets passed around like it's the blind community in Alaska. There's no
who else is there? Like,
how do they pick the 6 women?
Yeah, and you go to Miami where you got old dudes who just have a lot of freaking money, and they're just trying to get access to the younger women.
Look, you cannot mess with their hustle. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
I'm just saying, if they want a family, they're picking from the wrong pool.
No, look,
look, that's not fair, because they could have 2 people in diapers. The significant other and the baby.
That's tough.
Best Funeral Ever follows the life of Golden Gate Funeral Home, who is known for throwing huge, over-the-top funeral parties, like for Olympic gold medal winner Ronnie Ray Smith, where his casket ran a 100-yard dash and was given a gold medal at the end.
By the way, that just tells me they ran out of ideas when they came up with that show.
Oh my god.
First of all, how do you get people to attend that kind of a spectacle? Second of all, who runs the casket? Is it the pallbearers? Is there an electronic
Who
device?
runs with the casket?
Yeah, like, the caskets ain't light. So, like,
Who sack races with the casket? That
100 meters is a
good question.
jaunt. So, like, that's not a short trip. That's a pretty nice chunk of space, and I'm not running for you.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, well, here's the thing, right? Since the beginning of time, when people like really dumb spectacles, like gladiators, the people want to see somebody get their head chopped off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this one's more. This is a lot more tame than that kind of stuff.
Well, was it a solo race?
Uh-uh.
Or were there other caskets in the race?
No, it was a relay.
Here, run a football field. Whoever gets to the football field.
My God.
Dancing Tweens is described as following young ballroom dancers as they compete at events across the country. But I'm pretty sure that I'm on some kind of list just for Googling that.
Dancing Tweens!
Oh my God. No, not the
Only 17.
No.
I wonder if they got sued by ABBA.
Living for the Apocalypse followed the lives of people who believed that the end of the world was coming in 2012, and it just followed the stereotypical people who built shelters,
Let me
stocked
tell
up
you,
on food,
I
and prepped
remember
for the end
this
of the
show.
world.
I actually remember.
You do?
saw that
Oh,
one?
yeah, I remember.
Is it The Walking Dead?
No. It was like supermarket sweep on steroids. Like they bought everything under the sun and put them in these underground bunkers, and like you had all these older white people. Sorry, white people preparing for the end of the world. It was
Sorry, children.
yeah, like, it was that show was aggressive.
Okay.
Although, honey, I do feel like you would have done great on that show.
You think so?
Yeah, you seem like the type.
All right.
Virgin Diaries followed the lives of adult virgins who, as you can expect, look like a stereotypical virgin. But
I'm a virgin.
Hey, me too. Sex until marriage. I didn't have sex until I got married.
That's right.
All right, I didn't have anybody before that.
I ain't nobody that matters.
Period. Basically. It doesn't count.
I wonder if they watched the 40-year-old virgin and thought, "Hey, we're gonna
Great idea.
I'm gonna make
lot
a
of money
TV
from
show
this."
out of this.
What do you say to someone on a first date after you've been on Virgin Diaries? Like, if you Google me,
Can I be the one?
that's
what I
really uncomfortable.
Creepy.
Or like, what if a bunch of people start trying to date you because you were on Virgin
Right.
Diaries?
Oh, see, that's the
And
one
so
that
a
gets
bunch
me.
of creepos trying to get virginity.
I'm about to take it like your virginity is for auction.
At least you know it's worth something.
Yeah, but you know what? It's interesting to me, right? Because there has to be a certain age cutoff where you're like, where you don't have those connections, like you're not seeking for that obsessive connection that one would if they lost their virginity when they're young. I don't think that continues, right?
I don't think so. Do you think they had the doctor's check though?
Oh, that's a great idea. Or maybe it's T.I.
Before.
Wait. I missed.
Do you remember the story about T.I. having his doctor check his daughter's hymen to see if it was in place?
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you this clip if I can find it. It's this lady. She's very Caribbean. I can't remember where she's from, but she's from an island. And she takes her daughter to the doctor, and she's like, "Yeah, doc, I'm just coming to see if everything is all right down there." And so the doctor says, "Well, Miss Lene, are you sexually active?" The daughter doesn't say anything. The woman picks up a big cast iron pan. Answer the man! Answer the man! She's like, "No, not me. Nope. I'm not sexually active. Not at all."
That is so funny.
That's so good.
Well, Miss Lene, would you like birth control? Picks up frying pan. Nope. I'm good.
There is only one answer.
Yeah, exactly right. You have no option at that point.
Picks up big black cast iron pan. Bro, you about to die.
Oh.
It'd be crazy if she flipped the table and picked the table up back to
The man talking about, ma'am, you have to control yourself and let me talk to your daughter. Do you want your mom to stay in the room? She glanced at the doctor. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, I don't think she's leaving. That pot says she can stay. She might hit you.
For a serious conversation, though, that kind of controlling does lead to
promiscuity.
Yes.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
Well, but promiscuity. I remember going to a college. I was like 16, visiting a friend at college, and I was with another one of my friends, and I remember we were eating somewhere, and the dudes we were out with were getting texts about this one girl the night before who like grew up in a serious like Christian household, and didn't have her ounce of freedom until she went to college. And it was that she had passed out, vomited while she was laying on her back. Oof. She was choking on her vomit, everything.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
And it's that type of raising that literally pushes your child to do that stuff. So there has to be a balance, right? You have to show them that you trust them, but at the same time, definitely watch what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
There has to be a level of trust there.
I think it's like a whole
go ahead, Nicole.
thing with like, if you don't give them anything, I don't know if it's a trust factor or more of like, because I'm going to tell you.
I trust you to be a kid. That's what I trust you to do.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not even that, but it's like, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know that this is what happened to you if you do this, this, and this. There is no trust because you don't know. You have no exposure.
Mm-hmm.
But then the question is like, at what point
you know what I mean?
you have those conversations?
What the consequence of this thing can be. I feel like when you become old enough to start going places on your own, like 13, 14, I might go to the movies with so-and-so, dad, you know what I mean? We need to start talking about this is what because you can't be with them 24 hours a day. It's impossible.
Right.
You can't. And you can't say, I know what they're doing all 24 hours of those days. But if you don't tell them, this is what can happen, there can be any trust. I don't know what you're talking about.
And you can't threaten them into compliance either, right? Because the reality is, my mom started having those conversations with us when we were 13, 14, especially, once you enter high school with adults. Because let's face it, a lot of juniors turn 18, then you got 18-year-old seniors. So you're essentially in high school with adults. And you don't want to be some naive, innocent person not aware of what could really happen around you.
What the world is like.
Because it's unsafe. Like, it's unsafe for you. It's unsafe for the people around you.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, too, my mom used to tell me all the time, like, if her mom, she was straight up, she was like, if my mom would have taken me to get birth control when I asked, I probably wouldn't have gotten pregnant so young. Because my grandmother's solution to sex was just don't do it. And so my mom and my aunt stuck around because it wasn't realistic to just not do it. And my aunt knew that my mom was doing it. So, of course, at 16, she ended up having a baby. And so I feel like, there has to be a point. And if I can give, Gen Zers and millennials anything, it's that they're really realistic about the things that they need to know. Like, the execution is really flawed, but they are realistic about the things that they need to know that we, as people in our 30s, didn't always get the privilege of knowing because our parents didn't always give us the respect. So I give a lot of props to my mom for sitting me and my brothers down and having those conversations and being like, look, I don't want you guys out having sex, but if you're having sex, be safe and at least do it here so that I know you're safe. Or, if you're trying liquor for the first time, at least try it here so that I know it's safe. And not even just that, but my mom took the time to look up
You can't do it here, but if you're going to do it.
Well, there are a lot of laws in different states where it's safer. Like, it's legal for you to tell your kid, if you're gonna have a glass of wine, have it at the house. So I think that was where
We
my
got drunk
mom
at
was
home
coming from.
first.
Yeah.
And I mean, hey, listen, everyone has their stuff, right? Everyone has their thing and their line. Or I wouldn't necessarily promote it, like, okay, you can do whatever here or whatnot, but that's me. But at the same time, like, I can remember a couple Thanksgivings or a couple parties or whatever, where like we've had my cousins and me, got into the liquor, the drinks that were not meant for us or whatever, and they let us. And when you take the next day, get your ass up and come clean this room. You're going to do whatever it is that you were supposed to do prior, because nobody tell you to touch that. And that's your problem. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem.
But see,
and I don't really blame them.
Well, see, and, like, it's funny because you guys had those experiences where, as my family, it's more like you learn the hard way. You know what I mean? Like, we never had those conversations about sex. We never had those conversations about like alcohol or whatever. A lot of families, it was just don't do it. But like, there's something to say for having a little bit of, there's a healthy dose of fear that, your parents are crazy and, that you're going to die. So certain things you just kind of stay away from. And I think about this a lot because it's like, at what point is it safe to start having those conversations about, sex and that kind of stuff? Is it, I'm assuming, like right after, especially, but I think it's also different.
Whenever it comes up.
I'm going to say, I think it's different.
Coming up,
I think it's different. I think it's different for boys and girls, because for girls, I feel like once you hit your first period, it's game on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Universally, I can see that 1,000%.
So it's one of those things where it's like it's game on now. So you got to know. You need to be aware as to what's happening with your body, what's happening, what that means for you. But see, for boys,
people are having to have these conversations with their 3 and 4 year olds, 2 and 3 year olds. Don't let people touch you here. Don't let anyone do this, that, and the third. Of course. Because people are just
disgusting.
Well, let me definitely focus on a very important part here. This is why it's so important to have both parents in the home. This is why fatherlessness should never happen. Because I learned about sex at a young age just because of the media and the stuff that I was consuming.
Yep.
I mean, I was listening to a radio station in New York where at 8 p.m., the night jock on the Spanish station was having phone sex on the air.
Help!
And I'm 7, 8 years old listening to this, like, whoa, wow, okay, right? And not to say that if my dad was around, I wouldn't have gotten into that, but I definitely had more access to things. Because there was no control. Yeah, there was no control to a certain extent because there's only so much my mom can do. And then my mom had 2 boys, and so I always think like, my God, I can't imagine how hard it would be for a mom to talk to her son about sex and condoms and protection and that stuff. Like, it's possible, it's not saying that it's unheard of, but that should be the father's job. That should be the dad's job.
I think there's also like a level of comfort that you need to establish with your kids, because if you spend so much time harping on them being afraid of you, they're not going to come to you
don't
and talk to you about anything.
1,000%.
And so there needs to be a certain amount of I don't know if I want to say camaraderie, but I'll just say comfort, that, hey, I know if I have a question, I can go to whomever. Don't go to the doctor with the frying pan, Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because then they'll find out stupid things from stupid people. You won't have any control over what they know because they can't come talk to you because you're crazy.
Yes. 1,000%. Listen, man, if you want to share your stories too, we actually had a whole round table about this.
Yeah, we did.
With Shane and Precious, and we just had such a great conversation. That's on our YouTube channel. You could always find us down in the DM pod all over anywhere you listen to podcasts and all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and search for our YouTube channel too, because you can find some extra videos that we don't post up as podcasts.
This morning, a family believes someone used an electronic device to track them at Disney World. They say after a full day at the Magic Kingdom, 17-year-old Madison Gaston received a notification that an Apple AirTag device was moving with her.
It was first detected with her around 7:09 p.m. and we got the notification at about 11:33 p.m.
Madison clicked on the notification and saw a map outlining everywhere they had walked in the previous 4 hours.
It showed the first destination where it was detected with her. And then it basically draws a line and makes the connections.
The family says they frantically shook out their clothes and bags in the parking lot, then jumped into their truck. Driving back to the hotel, Madison's phone showed the AirTag was still back in their parking lot. It had apparently fallen out of their belongings.
I had seen videos of other people warning people about them and what they were, basically.
Apple's AirTag is meant to be attached to things frequently lost, like your keys or wallet. But authorities say some criminals have used the devices to follow people, even attaching them to cars to steal later.
They can always tell where the vehicle's location is, and then they can almost wait and commit the theft on their watch.
Apple previously telling ABC News if users ever feel their safety is at risk, they are encouraged to contact local law enforcement who can work with Apple to provide any available information about the unknown AirTag.
You know, first off, before we go into this is why you got to be on iPhone gang.
Yeah.
iPhone gang, because if you have an iPhone, it will tell you. If you have an Android, it's not going to tell you that there's an Apple AirTag in your area. That is scary.
It is really scary. Part of the reason I brought this one is because it's October, and we try to do a lot of creepy stories around October. And what's creepier than a virtual stalker? But like, she was a child. You know what I mean? What if it was more malicious than just wanting to know where they were? Because that was a 17-year-old girl, and let's not act like people aren't still being sex trafficked out here.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I hear these stories all the time, and a lot of them in domestic violence cases, because the person who's committing the violence is trying to track the other person down.
Yeah.
It's scary stuff. But, again, I mean, I'm so glad that Apple worked out something that notifies people in the area.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like a Bluetooth, because I think it's Bluetooth.
Yeah, it is.
Do you guys use any Apple AirTags for your phone or your wallet or your keys or anything like that?
No, we've never. As far as I know, neither one of us has any AirTags. But we all share, like all three of us share location. Me, Michael, Harmony share our location with each other, of course. And then my family, my mom and my two sisters, we also share location. And I remember seeing that, like, one time I was with my mom, and I'm like, man, your AirPods are, like, where are they? She's like, they're right here. No, she goes, first she said they're in the car. I'm like, yeah, because the phone said you left them behind. So, I mean, it's useful, but that's kind of how they get you used to using technology, right? They make sure that you get hooked on it, you see its usefulness, and you need it, but you don't pay attention necessarily to the downsides of it, like that.
I'm gonna sound old here, or I'm gonna sound young here, actually. What did people do before cell phones?
Investigators.
In a bad situation, like that's the one thing I can always say cell phones are so good for. And you're out in public and something is wrong, you can reach your phone and dial emergency services. I don't know how the people did it before cell phones. Well, how the poor people, or the everyday people, because let's be honest, cell phones have been out for a minute.
And they had car phones and all
and they had
things.
car phones and the expensive cars, right? And the luxury cars.
We know someone who recently got their iPhone stolen. And to think about the fact that criminals are using this technology, but also at the same time forgetting about this technology, blows my mind.
Right.
Because the same way you can track us, we can track this AirTag right back to you, my guy.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
And that's one of the things that surprised me about this story is why wouldn't you contact the police and have it tracked back? Because literally anything could happen.
Because it happened to Disney.
Yeah, it happened to your daughter though. Like forget the rest of y'all. If that was my daughter, I'm figuring out who put this shit in my child's bag.
And I'm making sure they're
And
getting
I'm making
killed.
sure you're like something. I'm not just gonna dump my clothes in the parking lot and go home. I think not. Like just.
Imagine if the perpetrator was standing there and ran off to grab
I'm gonna just take off. Right.
Yeah,
oh my goodness. I mean, but like, do people not know information can be taken, stolen from your Bluetooth? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So now I'm just like,
How much was stolen, right? You can really
where is that? What's that?
I'm getting ready to travel, and this creeped me out so bad. It was like, this creeped me out, and then I don't think we got to it last week, so we'll have to track it down. But I came across a story recently about some TSA workers who were stealing from people's luggage.
Oh yeah, I have that story. You want to do that real quick?
Yeah, let's bring it up.
We'll put it here. Yeah, this is crazy.
Workers arrested tonight for allegedly stealing from passengers at Miami's International Airport. Authorities say surveillance shows the agents taking money as passengers went through the security checkpoint. One agent allegedly seen removing a wallet from a bag. Investigators said the three workers worked together to steal from passengers. Police say two of the suspects have now confessed.
This is terrifying being blind.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Like, I am frantically checking those bins every time I get my stuff. And before this story, any story like this, I've always, anytime I pass through TSA, always check my stuff, especially because I've traveled with like sound cards and microphones in my carry-on, and they don't like that stuff. It sets the metal stuff off, so they actually have to physically go through my bag, take everything out, and ruffle through it. And I'm telling you, it freaks me out every time. I'm like frantically checking because I'm like, hey man, even if it's not a TSA worker, somebody there could just snatch something up.
Yep. Because it's not like they're watching.
Meanwhile, my mom
is going to Dubai.
Gets through TSA. Right. No, listen. Meanwhile, she's going to Dubai. She went to DC first to meet up with my aunt. Why did she text us and tell us, OMG, I got on the plane with my box cutter from work?
Hey, yo! Oops. No, you know what? I'll tell you something right now, though, too. A lot of that stuff is so wishy-washy, right? Like, I remember one time I was traveling. I had a pair of scissors, and I had, those wine openers that you can push out the coil?
Yeah.
The corkscrew?
Like, it's all in one. Yup. It's all in one corkscrew, bottle opener, whatever. So I had one of those in my bag, and I had a pair of scissors. Can you believe they took the corkscrew? Let me keep the scissors? They said the corkscrew did not make it through. It was setting it off. But, hey, the scissors, all good, man. All good. I'll never forget, too. I've traveled several times with, like, a lighter. All you got to do is light that carpeting in the plane, and some shit happens. You know what I'm saying?
My thing is, when I was traveling a couple of years ago, they took my body butter. And I was so upset about it because it wasn't even a liquid. It was like solid. You literally had to scoop that shit out. Why do you take my body butter and let me keep the nair? Take the goddamn nair.
Because some bitch wanted your body butter.
Like, how you gonna let me keep this large pump bottle nair?
Girl wanted your some trifling. Ooh, this looks good and free.
That's what she was smelling like. I'm gonna need that.
Right, monster.
I mean, when I go, even like
trifling.
I go through like TSA and stuff. Like, generally speaking, the most valuable stuff goes in my pocket, and namely, I'm like checking that when just as we're leaving.
Phone, wallet, stuff like that. Yeah.
But men have a luxury that women don't have. Like our pockets, I want deep pockets. I want to be able to fit 17 things in my pocket. Like, at least let me make it deep enough for a tampon.
It's not hot when you have pockets on your clothes.
No, but the fact, like we can't
It's
even.
not hot.
We can't even put feminine products in our pockets.
Like dresses with pockets it awkwards me out.
It awkwards you out. That was some 2023 millennial bullshit that just came out of your mouth.
Well, that was not millennial. That was straight
Gen Zer.
Omega something.
Awkward. Are you gonna be unalived?
It sets my anxiety off. Okay. What else is the glossary?
What do they say? You're aggy instead of aggravating.
It gives me the ick.
Oh, I heard that.
You have that one? You like that
one? You know, that one messes me up because, you know, Terica and I love American Dad. And there was an episode of American Dad where they got something called the ick, and they got it from a fish. And so now anytime someone says it gives me the ick, I think about that American Dad episode.
It more so drives me nuts when I see somebody over 21 use the ick. It gives me the ick. Because it's like, well, how are we really are reverting to children? We're about to sound really old right now.
Like,
we're reverting to children like, icky, gross.
Like your vocabulary, are you regressing?
It's like everybody got stunted together.
Like, that's a sound, baby. That is not a word.
No.
Exactly.
No, you know who's the worst, though? These over 40 artists trying to conform with these young people.
Drake.
Britney Spears released a horrible song last week.
Drake dropped his album this
his
week.
Album is tough.
And it's awful. And everybody's giving him crap for it, as they should. You're a 37-year-old man trying to rap like one of these young boys.
Hold on. Not only are they giving him crap for that, but they're giving him crap because he used a whole bunch of shit from other people that he didn't get permission for. Like, if that's not the most Gen Z thing I've ever seen about, like, you stole a whole bunch of people's shit and did not get permission to use it. And, like, I saw something earlier today.
Music is a universal language.
I mean, that's fine. That doesn't mean copyright infringement isn't real. And so there's a band. I don't remember the name of the band, but there's a band going after Drake right now because they were like, he straight ripped off our entire chorus. It's the same word for word.
It's funny. It's funny you bring that up. I was watching a video the other day, and it was the top 10 samples that that artists have been sued over. And one of the ones on the list that blew my mind, because he really tried to say it wasn't a steal, was Ice Ice Baby. So Vanilla Ice said literally in the press, oh, it's not stealing because we added one extra note before the second line of the bass riff.
Oh my God.
And I was like, whoa.
There's like a percentage marker. Like it has to be X amount of percentage of the work. He took too much of it.
Right.
If it was less of the chord, then he'd be fine.
Right.
Nicole, we're losing you again.
Uh-oh.
You're muffled.
I'm just going to unplug these headphones. Is this better?
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, boom. It was Miley Cyrus used, some Jamaican producer let her use somebody's stuff, and they did not ask him, nor did they pay him for it. And she had to give him a bunch of money. The one story that I love is the have you heard the Cisco, the thong song?
Yeah.
So Vice did a documentary series called behind the story behind the song or something like that. And they did one on the thong song. And the same writer who wrote Livin' La Vida Loca for Ricky Martin owns that song because of that one line. Because he was told by the producer that they cleared it, but they never did. And so just him saying Livin' La Vida Loca, that screwed him forever.
Oh, man, that was his biggest song.
Yeah.
It's his biggest song. He doesn't make a dime off of it.
Never.
Damn.
Oh,
ouch.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Off of one line. Oh, my God. Yeah, well,
Can you imagine?
It's
like
a game.
The biggest body of work, and now, Like, you just lost the whole thing? Oh my God.
Off of one line. And this is why you got to always fact check yourself.
Whomever told me that, I will burn their house down. You don't know.
Let that calm down.
I'll burn your house down. Nope.
Yo, she was an arsonist.
She was an arsonist.
It's all right.
I'm burning something up. I'm sorry.
So is Michelle.
Forever.
That's why they're friends.
I'm kind of shocked that she's not digging into her Jamaican roots and stabbing nobody.
Welcome to your on fire.
Fire.
I mean, like, for real? Like, didn't he have to?
Yeah,
he
that's
had to file bankruptcy. Like, Cisco went broke, and he had to,
for real.
People are still talking about that. So I burned up. Oh hell no,
Bro, that song is still a club banger 23 years later.
Yes,
and he's not making a dime.
Down.
Oh.
And the thing is, nobody can name any more Cisco songs. That's like
Wait. If you don't know music.
That's the only Cisco song you really know.
You got Unleash the Dragon.
I mean, but yes, okay, fine. But that is Cisco's song. Like, that is
the
his most
quintessential
popular
Cisco
body of work. And you I burned their house down.
Yo, how many houses do they got for you to burn down?
All of them. You'd be homeless.
They better have a lot of houses after making money off of that song.
Exactly, because every time you play my song on the radio, you getting royalties. Oh, absolutely not. I burn their whole shit down.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're tapping into your crazy, because this next story we have for you guys is out of control.
We did a psychological test. It's funny. This is done. The title of this TikTok, by the way, this feels like astrology for mental health, is what it says. And this guy gives a scenario, and based on you knowing the answer, it will determine whether you are a psychopath or not, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
So we're going to find out who the psychopath is in the relationship.
Not it.
So allegedly, if you can answer this riddle correctly, then it is a major sign that you're a psychopath. Now keep in mind, there's no research to validate this, so if you do get it right, don't get all in a panic. However, that being said, the only people in my life who were accurately able to answer was me, a diagnosed narcissist, and my sister, who is diagnosed with ASPD, aka sociopathy. So take that as you will.
Oh, great.
So a woman goes to her mother's funeral. And she meets a guy there that she's never met before, and they really hit it off. Like, this woman is thinking, oh my gosh, this might be my soulmate. But she doesn't realize until the funeral is over that she forgot to get his name, forgot his number. She has no idea who this guy is. And whoever she asks, they don't know either. And she's relatively speaking upset that she's not going to be able to see this guy again. The next week, she murders her sister. So the riddle is, why did she do it? Why did she murder her sister?
Why did she murder her sister?
All right, Nicole, what you got? Why did she kill her sister?
It's not fair. I've heard this before. I already know the answer.
Mike, do you also know the answer?
I don't, but I would give it a go.
All right, give it a go.
All right, so let me just kind of backtrack, make sure I just got all the facts right. So she murders the girl, but before she murders the girl, she goes to the funeral of somebody else.
Yeah, of her mom. She goes to the funeral of her mom, and she meets a guy there and really likes him, but never got any of his information.
Yeah. Okay. This sounds like, so it's an associate thing. Like, she murders her mom. The mom was already killed, so she murders her sister. Presumably, it's somebody who knows them both.
You're a psychopath like me.
You're a psycho.
My man.
Psycho.
Nicole, when you heard it the first time, did you get it right?
No.
Okay, then
Not
that's fair. You're not the psycho.
That makes sense. I was like, wait, you're crazy as hell.
I originally said, because he was like, why'd she murder her sister? I was like, I don't know. Was the sister dating the dude?
Well, the way that I heard it, they didn't give the answer. The way that I heard it, it was like, so she, the person dies, whatever. What can she do to see this person again? and you were supposed to say kill
murder somebody else in the family.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
Right, that's how I heard it.
Oh man. Well,
so I'm a legit psychopath. Thanks.
No problem. It's perfectly fine.
No, I'm logical. I mean,
you're logical exactly because it's an answer that makes sense. And not only that,
hold on, because my answer also made sense.
Okay, not that much of a sense.
I mean, my answer just wasn't psychopathic.
No, this just means that we'll be good for our kids.
I said that she maybe murdered their sister because she found that she lied about not knowing the guy.
Oh, okay. I don't remember what I said. I heard this a long time ago. I don't even know. I just remember. I remember the thing. I don't remember.
All you need to do is have your kid present this to somebody who's fucking with them. They could be like, "Hey, my dad figured this out, yo. You better not mess around, son. My dad figured this out, B."
That's so funny.
You better leave me alone.
You guys, it's all right. One of them is psychopathic. It's fine.
I mean, there's always one.
Mike, we share.
There's got to be one, I think.
Exactly. Makes the world go round.
I mean, I've been told that I'm arrogant and I'm a bit of a narcissist. So I guess that works out.
Yeah, the one side of you, the one face.
Right, exactly.
The one face. Yeah.
Psychopathic tendencies, it seems.